You know, many of us have heard that phrase, follow your highest excitement. Sounds simple, right? Do what lights you up and life will unfold in harmony. But then comes that moment of hesitation, a flutter in the stomach, a voice that says, wait, is this excitement or is this fear? We start to second guess. We analyse and we wonder if we're fooling ourselves. And suddenly, that bright inner signal becomes a bit fuzzy again. So today, let's explore together, not as a lecture, but as an experiment. Let's find out how to tell the difference between our true excitement, that inner compass of alignment, and the sneaky disguises of fear or obligation. Because once we can recognize that signal clearly, our path stops feeling like a maze and starts to feel like music. Are you ready? Let's see where this takes us. Have you ever noticed how excitement has a very particular texture to it? It isn't just happiness. It isn't just a thrill. It's more like aliveness itself, that sense that your whole being is leaning forward, curious, awake. Excitement is your internal navigation system, your built-in guidance signal from the deeper part of you that already knows where you're going. It says, yes, this direction is aligned with who you truly are. When you act on that energy, you become more yourself. And reality rearranges to meet that vibration. People show up, opportunities appear, timing synchronizes in ways logic can't predict. But here's the thing. That same surge of energy, that same intensity that tells you you're alive, can also be interpreted as fear. The body doesn't always distinguish between the two right away. Both are high frequency states. One opens and one contracts. One says, step forward, and the other says, be careful. Our task is not to eliminate fear, but to listen closely enough to tell which one is speaking. Because the signal of excitement will always feel like movement, expansion, curiosity, even when it's mixed with butterflies. So the real question isn't, how do I get rid of fear? Rather, what is this energy actually trying to tell me? Alright, so how do we actually tell whether we're feeling excitement or fear? How can we know in real time what our inner compass is pointing to? Let's look at the feeling itself. Excitement feels like expansion, like you're being drawn forward, even if you don't know where it leads. There's a sparkle of curiosity, a sense of something wants to happen through me. Fear, on the other hand, often feels like contraction, like you're being pushed back, tensing, protecting, calculating. It's more about avoidance than exploration. But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes both show up together. You might feel pulled towards something thrilling, and yet your stomach flips and your heart races. That doesn't mean it's the wrong path. It might just mean that you're standing right on the edge of an old belief. In that moment, ask yourself, am I afraid because something's truly wrong here, or because something inside me is ready to expand? Excitement whispers, come this way. There's more of you over here. Fear whispers, stay safe, stay known. Both want to protect you, but only one helps you grow. So, how do we use this in the real world? How do we take the sparkle of excitement and turn it into something tangible, step by step? Let's bring in what Bashar calls the formula. 4 simple ideas that work together like gears of a compass. First, act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Maybe it's a conversation, a sketch, a walk, an email, a new playlist, anything that genuinely feels alive in the moment. When you follow even the smallest spark, you align with your frequency of flow. Secondly, do it with no insistence on the outcome. Excitement isn't about control, it's about trust. Trusting that this step is enough, even if you can't see the next one yet. Reality responds when you stop micromanaging the miracle. Third, take it as far as you can go until the energy naturally changes. When the excitement fades, don't push. Just look around for the next thing that lights up. That's how the path reveals itself. Step by step, breadcrumb by breadcrumb. And finally, stay in a positive state. Not forced happiness, but openness. The willingness to see that everything happening is working with you, not against you. That's the formula in motion. Simple, but not always easy, because it asks us to trade certainty for flow. But that's where the magic lives. Let's talk about the part most of us try and avoid, the fear. It's easy to think fear is a sign that something is wrong. But in truth, fear is often a messenger. It's saying you're standing right on the edge of an old belief that no longer fits. When fear rises, pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what would I have to believe is true for this fear to make sense? That question itself is like shining a flashlight into a dark room. The belief reveals itself. Maybe it's, I might fail. Maybe it's, I'm not ready. Or maybe it's, if I shine too brightly, I'll be judged. And once you see it, you've already begun to dissolve it. You don't have to fight the fear. You simply update the belief. Ask yourself, what might be equally true and feel lighter? Perhaps it's, every step teaches me something valuable. Or, I'm allowed to take up space. The moment you shift the belief, the emotional charge begins to release, and the energy that was fear turns back into excitement. That's transformation, not through struggle, but through awareness. So here we are, back where we began, but maybe seeing everything with new eyes. Excitement and fear, two sides of the same current, both made of the same energy. One expands, one contracts, and in between them is choice. When you choose to act on what excites you, even in small ways, you send a signal to life itself. It says, I trust this energy. I trust myself. And life responds, because reality, in its own mysterious way, is always listening. You don't have to see the entire path. You just have to see the next step that lights up. And when that light fades, look for the next one. That's how alignment feels. Not a straight road, but a living conversation. Remember, fear doesn't mean stop. It means pay attention. Something wants to grow here. And excitement? That's your true self saying, this way. This is who you really are. So, take one action today. Anything that feels even a little alive. Follow that thread. Let it lead you to the next and the next. Soon you look back and realize the path wasn't random at all. It was you guiding you every step of the way. All right. Take a breath. Feel that spark. That's the beginning of your next adventure.
you.